Hey, Leanne and Simon on Loving Life Now. For today's topic, continue creating your masterpiece.
Awesome.
Hi.
Well, excited to be here tonight, Lee. We are back for our Facebook Live, episode number
132.
132. 132 episodes. I think that's pretty
We've done
remarkable.
way more before that, but that's as in this series.
Well, the series of personal development, absolutely. And we've got a great topic lined up, continue creating your masterpiece. So we would love to welcome you as you join us on the live stream this evening. Pop your details in the comments. Let us know where you're streaming in from so that we can personally welcome you to the stream. It has been super hot here in Queensland.
It has, finally.
We have got a summer's hit us with a vengeance, and we've got a bit of a heat wave going on, but nice to be in the aircon, I must say. Agatha says, hi guys, welcome from Melbourne. Thanks, Agatha. Rob Brown over there in WA. Welcome to you, Rob. Great to have you here. Wendy up there in the UK, big welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. Joe Newland from Varsity. G'day, Joe. Welcome. Glad you could join us. And again, if you've just joined us, pop your details in the comments. We'd love to welcome you where you're streaming in from. Ida, hello to you. Laurie McMillan, hello from Canada. Bernie Island in Burleigh. Hello, Bernie. Shani down there in Sydney. She said it's been a while. Been a while since something. I don't know. Been a while since we've been on. Had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Hi guys. Good evening from Sydney. Oh, that was Shani's message. Bruce Partridge is here.
Bruce.
He's over there in New Zealand. Soon to be on the Gold Coast. He's back in New Zealand, but back on the Gold Coast soon. Well, glad you're swanning around, enjoying yourself over there, Bruce. Richard Wiseman, good morning from the UK. We've got a couple of people in the house from the UK.
Serena.
We've got Laurie up there in Canada. We've got people in Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast. Serena's in Melbourne. There you go. Welcome, Serena. Thanks for joining us on our Facebook Live this evening. And Cheryl Mapp in Sydney. Hello, Cheryl. Good to have you here.
Hey, from Germany.
G'day from Germany. Carolina. How do you say it? Carolina. You go with that.
I don't know if that's right. Hey,
it's a bit like tomato, right?
Joy Lynn, good morning from Boston.
Sure. Good morning in Boston. It is bright and early, but glad you can be here and glad you can join us. So we have got a great topic to cover. Sue from the Gold Coast. G'day, Sue. We've got Gabby on the Gold Coast. Great topic. Continue creating your masterpiece. Well, Lee, we were just talking about this earlier today. So we've had a couple of weeks off.
Yes,
well, we haven't been off as such.
Not off as
off
here.
Last Wednesday was a public holiday.
Yes.
Well, on the Thursday we had plans. So we had competing commitments. The week prior we had some business commitments.
We went on a staycay.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we did. But here tonight, back. This is our second episode for this year. 2023. So we did have a previous episode where we spoke about creating your masterpiece for 2023. And we went through some of the things that we can be doing in order to create our masterpiece. And I mentioned at the end of that stream that the next follow-up streams are going to be follow-ons to really delving into what it takes to create our masterpiece. And it's almost a bit of a summary of everything we've spoken about over the last 132 episodes.
Awesome.
Now, we are definitely not going to get all that done tonight. So there'll be a couple of weeks where we'll progress, but we'll cover different topics, very short, but it'll all have a theme. And the theme is creating your masterpiece. And are you creating your masterpiece?
Right. And then we've got to think of something new to talk about.
We will after that. Well, we've done...
Any ideas? Throw them up.
132 episodes talking about personal development. We're pretty much every week, unless we've had competing priorities and had a little bit of time off recently. But yeah, it's been exciting.
It has.
We enjoy presenting every week and talking about a different topic and just sharing our own perspective, really, at the end of the day. And if that assists somebody or helps somebody, then that's great. If you can take something away from it, then that's even better. At the end of the day, very short, 30 minutes, and that's what we're here for. Sometimes a little bit less, depending on the topic, right? All right, so let's jump into tonight's topic, continue creating your masterpiece. So we mentioned that we'd spoken about last time about creating your masterpiece in life. And what do we got to do? We spoke about it being a great time of year. Yes. With the start of the year, and we've just finished the first month of the year. Do you believe that?
I know. It's like the 1st of February today.
Today's the 1st of February. We didn't even wake up and go pinch and punch for the first of the month. What happened to that?
I don't No.
We didn't even acknowledge that today was the 1st of February.
I knew.
Oh, you knew?
Didn't acknowledge it. But
Yeah, no, we didn't acknowledge it. All right, so it is a great time of year to really review your direction for your own masterpiece. And we also covered what role we play. Do you know what role you're playing in your masterpiece?
Nah.
You don't? I'm sure you do.
The Queen.
The Queen role. All right, so we also covered the role that we play. And does our role excite us? Like if you were watching this as an episode or a movie in the future, does the role that you're playing in your life excite you? And if it doesn't, what are you doing about it?
You've got the wrong role.
You have got the wrong role. So we're going to talk about 9 different topics tonight that go back to the start about how we create that masterpiece and what's important. And a lot of these are going to be statements about we can, you can, I can, but we'll also intertwine it with a little bit of our own experience or our own knowledge or our own story that we can share around that. So Lee, do you want to kick us off and get us started?
All right, number 1 is, I can't even speak. I can't see today because my eyes are grown. I can't speak.
All right, well,
So actually maybe I should sit in the corner.
let's focus.
Your North Star becomes a theme to your story. What are you all about? Without this, your story loses interest. So be clear on the North Star as it guides you.
Yeah, so what is your guide? What's guiding you in your life? And one of the most important things that we talk about in our personal development is our North Star. It's our guiding light. It's the name of the Polaris, the North Star in the sky, right? So you sort of look at it and think, well, what's my North Star? What do I stand for? What underpins me? What are my vision, my values? What do I stand for? What am I going for? And you want to share that with people, right? You want to share what your North Star is so that people can back you. It's a bit like if you've got a big goal that you're going for and you share it with lots of people.
People want to help you get there.
They want to help you get there. They want to help you get there. They want to help you achieve it. They want to celebrate your win. So your North Star is the same, right? Don't be afraid to put your North Star out there and really share with people what you stand for and what is your North Star, because it is your story that underpins you, right? Now, number 2, in order to create our masterpiece, is our story begins when we leave the herd. Now, I remember getting involved in this industry over 14 and a half years ago now, and one of the first things that I had to come to terms with was leaving the herd, right? And realising that I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I didn't want to be a part of where I was. That was why I went searching for something else. But I also had to come to terms with, well, what am I prepared to do in order to get out of that?
Yeah.
And sometimes we've got to cut and run. We've got to take stock of the people that are around us. Could be working environments, could be the environment that we find ourselves in, whether it be through business or a job or whether you're working in a company and self-employed. Or it could be relationships or people or family, or it could be friendships, right? And sometimes we've got to take stock of these things and be prepared to leave that herd, right? And sometimes those friendships, those relationships, those environments don't serve us if we're looking to move forward and create our masterpiece in life. They can be a stepping stone. They can certainly be used for learning. But they don't always serve us. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Can you relate to that from your past experience in life?
Absolutely, in many, many different ways.
Yep. And you've had to reevaluate and cut people out and replace people in your life.
Yes.
Replace your husband. Friendships, yes. Right? Friendships are a big one. Sometimes there's friends that come into your life. They come in for a period of time and
they're there for a reason. And they don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes those relationships you outgrow.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Grow in different directions.
Yeah, but you can also then develop new friendships and new relationships, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to be open to a series of events, new ones. You've got to be open to new people in your life, and you also have to be open to new experiences. Are you open to new experiences?
Absolutely.
And new people coming into your life?
Yes. Absolutely.
And you're open to new events?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, so that's number 2, is the story begins when we leave the herd. Now, number 3, Lee, we'll just touch on the first a little bit, then we'll go through it.
Okay, so making such choices has you on the way to be that entrepreneur that you want to be.
Right, so we get clear on our North Star, what our guiding principle is, our guiding light. We have to reevaluate some of the things and circumstances and people that are in our lives. We've got to be prepared to exit the herd, get out of that. And then we're making choices that entrepreneurs make.
Yep.
Now, by doing all of this, we're finding that we're driven, right? That's the first thing. What else?
You have a new feeling of independence.
We do. And we also have a new vision for ourselves.
You create new opportunities.
New opportunities, so they're big, right? I mean, as an entrepreneur and creating something, you want to create new opportunities. But by doing that, guess what? You also get to attract...
What's that?
I have no idea. You get to attract others through change of who you are being. Somebody's sending us beautiful things. We got champagne glasses.
I haven't seen that before. It's really cool. Anyway, sorry.
And they're drawn to you, right? So love hearts now. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Who is sending these?
It doesn't matter.
So good.
So you attract others through the change of who you're being, right?
Yes.
Do you remember when you got started in this industry and you came into personal development, that people actually approached you and said, "Oh my God, Leanne, you're so different. What are you doing?" Did you ever have that?
Yes.
Yeah, I had that. I experienced that. People said, "Wow, you really, something's different about you. You know, the way you are, the way you're being, the way you're showing up."
You're happy.
Yeah, so people get attracted to that. So they're drawn to you. Now, the next thing, the fourth point that we're going to talk about, is you have some clear direction. So you now have clear direction because you're making different choices. What else?
You set your new compass heading.
Yeah, so you've got a new heading, it's a new direction. Where are you going? What's the compass heading that you're going in? And you now see clearly what the road ahead looks like.
Yep.
Now, I remember before I came into the industry, I wasn't really clear on my future goals.
Yeah.
I was clear on my immediate goals, and I guess what my vision was in what I was doing, and I just applied myself and did the next best thing.
Yeah.
In trusting that I would achieve the result, right? But I was never really clear on a roadmap, what my goals were. So it wasn't until I came into this industry that I got really clear on the road ahead, right? And what does the road ahead look like? I mean, where do you see yourself in the next 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years from now? What are some of the things you want to do? What are some of the things you want to create? Are you clear on that as we start 2023? Are you clear on your short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals and what that road ahead is? Now, what else makes a difference, Lee?
Your energy, your vibration grows.
Yeah, because you're excited about what you're doing. All of a sudden, you've got a bit of vision, right? So that raises your level of vibration and you are excited about what you're doing. Now, your awareness is you now have this newfound awareness that, guess what? Change is actually great.
Absolutely.
Change is great. Change is no longer feared. And a lot of people fear change. And you also have this understanding that your efforts are worth it. So what you're doing is absolutely worth it.
Yep, for sure. Number 5, you now see that you are doing things that allow you to play to win. Yeah,
so, we talk about personal development and about our life being a game, right? It's like the game of life. So are you playing the game to win? Are you really looking to win at your game of life? So, as you said, you now see that what you're doing and you can create something better, and all of a sudden I've got a vision, I've got a roadmap, I can see the road ahead. And you also recognize and count your wins and your successes. And that's really, really important, is to recognize and count your wins. So do you have wins every day that you consciously, or you might recognize yourself, or you might write them down, or you might say them out loud? Do you do that?
I Skype them to you.
You do. and having dinner time, we said, what are we grateful for? Like, you've got to take moments when they come up to go, what are we grateful for today, right? What are our wins? What wins have we had today that we can be acknowledging?
It actually comes up in our calendar when dinner's on, the gratitude, remember?
It does.
Reminder.
Yeah. Making heaps and heaps of notes here, Rob says. Cheryl says, best Facebook Live ever. Just what I needed to hear.
Hi.
Thanks, Cheryl. All right, so we're talking about our wins. Now, you sense the personal rewards as you're going along the journey, right? So you're counting your wins, but you're also sensing that you're achieving personal goals and your rewards, that you feel good about some of the things you're achieving, right?
Yeah.
So it's self-reward. What else do you feel?
Purpose and passion.
Yeah, that's a big one. And you're now a person of action. Now, a person of action is creating results, and by creating results, what are you doing? You're creating a new reality.
Yep.
Okay? Brett said he's grateful for the pool today. I am grateful for the aircon today.
Absolutely.
I am super grateful for the aircon. I don't care what it's costing for the next 4 days. I reckon it's going to be 34 degrees here on Friday, and that's the temperature. But then they're saying it feels like 38 or 40.
You'll find me here inside.
Well, the pool could be good too. So
yeah, the pool's heated in here.
All right, so you create results and you create a new reality. Okay. So what else have we got? Number 6.
Awareness that all stories had their ups and downs based on choices we make.
Yeah, so in life, not every story that we create or go to create goes smoothly, does it?
No.
Have you had experiences where something you've chosen to do goes really well and you don't have any ups and downs?
On the odd occasion that happens, but most of the time there's some kind of up and down.
Yeah, or there may be some adversity or a challenge that gets thrown your way. So be aware that all stories are going to have their ups and downs based on the choices we make. Now, a story is rarely smooth. And remember that, it's rarely smooth. So don't expect as you write your story and your masterpiece that life's just going to be smooth for you, right? That'd be too easy.
Yes,
and
boring.
It could be. It could be exciting though.
Yeah, it'd be boring if it was just like, you've got it now, you've done it.
Well, that's true. If you don't have to work hard for it.
No challenge.
Yep. If you don't have to work hard for it or have a challenge. Paul Mills says, I'm grateful for my wins today and all the people that answered the phone and were super nice. Excellent, Paul.
Great.
That's great. All right. So, however, we are able to consult a really important thing. So as we're going through and we've got these little hiccups along the way and we've got some ups and downs, well, who do you turn to?
Yourself.
Yeah, you turn to your future self. Mm-hmm. Not so much your current self, because they're the one that's challenged, right? So you want to talk to your future self. And again, this is the next concept and one of the ones we've spoken about previously on one of our 132 episodes about our future self. So what does your future self look like? Who is that person? And are you prepared to consult what your future self would do in that circumstance or situation? So would you take advice from your future self? Would your future self tell you to put your big girl pants on and get back out there? Like, what are you doing? What is going on? Bernie said the mirror, right? And the mirror could be that future self looking back at you as well, right? So sometimes
more wrinkles.
Sometimes you've got to have those conversations with your future self to pull yourself back into a line.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you can go off and start to have a bit of a pity party for yourself, and that doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve anybody around you either. Getting annoyed, frustrated, or having a pity party, nothing's working, nothing's going right. Well, you need to consult your future self and say, would my future self behave like this in this situation? Mm-hmm. What choices would my future self do? Like, what would I do? If this was me looking back, what would I do? What are the choices and the decisions that I would make right in this moment? And sometimes we've got to consult that future self. And what does that mean, Lee? What does it mean that you've got to do?
Step outside of the current circumstance.
Yeah, it's almost like removing yourself from the circumstance below and looking at it from above and going, hang on a minute, why is that happening? Right?
Yeah.
And, sometimes we talk about don't sweat the small things, right? All right, so you consult your future self. Consult with yourself because yourself is the author of your life story. So that is your future self, right? You're building your future self. You're building your story and your masterpiece. So consult your future self because guess what?
You are in charge.
You are. You're the boss. You're the boss of your life. right? No one else is.
Yeah.
Right? You are the boss of your life. You're in charge of your life. You make the decisions. You make the choices. You make the calls. And if you're not happy with that, then, consult that future version of yourself. So this is the person that I'm wanting to be. Am I really being that person now? Well, the answer is no. And that comes back to a bit of be, do, have, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to be the person that you want to be first before you actually do, right? And then have. Mm-hmm. So let's get back to number 7. Point number 7, we got 9 points to cover. So point number 7 is?
The entrepreneurial universe is the yellow brick road.
Yeah, I love that. It's a bit like the Wizard of Oz, right? The Wizard of Oz reminds me of the yellow brick road. And, you imagine your entrepreneurial future journey being the yellow brick road, right? Where are you off to, right? What fun are you going to have along the way? What story are you going to write in order to get to that entrepreneurial place that you want to be at? So you make your choices.
Know for yourself.
That's an important one, right? Often I will say to you, I just want to know for myself, right? I want to find something out. I want to go look and find it out. Know for yourself. Sometimes we can take what other people say, and it's not that we don't trust or believe it. It's just sometimes you need to get the facts for yourself around some things to gain clarity, right? Or to understand it better.
Yeah.
So it's good to have an understanding. It's good to be able to know for yourself. It's good to be able to make your own choices. And of course, remember that you are the author of your story. What else?
What you do creates the hero's experiences.
Yeah, we spoke about a couple of weeks ago about when you're writing your masterpiece, are you playing the hero role, right? Are you the hero of your story? And if you're not the hero of your story, what are you going to do about it?
Make a new story.
Right? Yeah, change. Take different action.
Change your role.
Change your role. Make sure that you're the hero of the story. So you definitely want to create that hero experience. Now, point number 8 is put yourself at the center of your story as the hero. That's all you've got to do. Put yourself at the center of your story as the hero. So create your future self as the hero, right? Be that person. And our final point is number 9 that we've put together on our list for this evening to cover off. And that is what? As
you navigate your story, it's important to be constantly taking your temperature.
That's it. So taking your temperature, what does that mean? What does it mean when you take your temperature? No. And you don't put a thermometer under your tongue either.
I thought that's probably better.
So no, we don't want you to physically take your temperature. We want you to check in on yourself. It's almost like doing a bit of a health check, right? It allows you to measure your progress. How am I going in my story? Am I on track? Am I doing what's necessary? Am I taking the action? Have I left the herd?
Am I getting warm or hot towards my goal or cold?
That's right. Am I clear on my North Star? Is it still guiding me? My statement, is it guiding me in the direction of where I want to go and what I want to achieve? So you've got to check in and do a bit of a health check on yourself when you take your temperature. So measure your progress, measure your satisfaction, right? Because what happens if you're going down one path and it's not really satisfying you?
Yeah.
Right? Then what do?
Change paths.
Yeah. What's that called?
Course correction.
We course correct. Absolutely. So if we're going down somewhere and we're not really achieving or we're not getting the satisfaction that we desire, then we need to change that. And of course, we've got to measure our success as well. And that can be counting your wins. And the wins can be the small things. And if you don't count your wins, sometimes you feel like you're on a treadmill of life and you're doing all these things, but you're not actually getting to the end result, right? So you're just running and you're doing all this exercise, but you're not achieving what you want to be achieving. And that can be disheartening, right? So you've got to make sure that you count those wins along the way. Those small incremental wins make a massive difference in us recognising our efforts, and what we've achieved and where we've got to and what we've become as a person, right? Because along the way, we evolve and we become a different person. So we've got to count those wins as well.
I've got a cool win for today. My 16-year-old daughter, Jayla, brought herself a car with cash.
She did. Bought herself a car.
Very proud.
And an $8,000 car too.
Very cool car.
Not a $2,000 car.
It's nice looking. I'll post a photo.
So she bought an $8,000 car, and we've gone and had it. Can we say that? What she might watch?
Yes.
Oh, we always say that. Anyway, she bought a car. Looks super.
It got delivered here yesterday, and she hasn't seen it and hasn't driven it, so I'm going to take her out tomorrow.
No, she's got to learn it. So that's a good thing.
Anyway, it's very exciting.
She does have a learner. So a new driver in the Haggard house. All right. So these things are exciting, and these are about counting your wins, right? And it's where you've really got to acknowledge what wins we have on a daily basis. So as you navigate your story, make sure you're consistently checking in on yourself. Take your temperature. Am I everything going well? Am I heading in the right direction? Do I need to course correct? Am I checking in on my satisfaction? Am I checking in on my success? Am I measuring that? So all of those things are important. So those are the 9 topics that we chose, Lee, to cover off in tonight's Continue to Create Your Masterpiece. Next week, we're going to cover off some more on the back of this, so they'll flow on to what we're talking about, and we will bring together some more great information and statements that. And this is, like I said, it's almost a bit of a summary of everything we've been doing for 132 weeks. But on a very statement level, right? As opposed to going deep into the topics.
Yeah, cool.
Which I think it's really good, because you can look at this and go, wow, 2023, start of a new year. What am I doing? What's my story? What am I creating? Am I writing my best story, or am I creating the story that I don't want to be in? Right. So if you're writing a story that you don't want to be in, then you need to change your story. Right? And sometimes it's the story that we tell ourselves that holds us back.
Yeah.
It's very easy for people to get stuck in the drama glue, right? Or their old stories.
Yeah.
And they retell them to not only to people that they meet, but you retell them. And when you retell them to people that you meet and others, what are you doing?
Believing it yourself.
Yeah, you're telling it to yourself again and again and again, right? So you've got to move past your old stories and not get caught up in them, and create a new story. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And where do you want to go? And this is about writing your story into your masterpiece. So that's it for us for this episode, of course. As I said, we'll be back next week. Anything else you want to add to it? What's coming up for us? We've got teenagers here. We've got a driving lesson on Saturday with Miss 16 and the driving instructor, and yourself.
I'm going.
And yourself, yeah.
Yes.
Got to make sure that you learn the ways of the road.
I know the right way too.
Got to make sure that you teach her the right way.
Yes.
So that's exciting, and we got quite a few things on. We're hosting our company international training call on Friday.
Yep.
So look out for that. So we'll look forward to seeing our associates and business owners that join us on that stream on Friday morning Australia time. Anything else coming up?
That's all, I think.
That's all for now?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. And we are back next week, yes?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah, all right. Back next week, and we'll have, as I said, some more, probably another 9 maybe. Something like that. We'll see how we go. Could be more.
Might mix it up. Might do 7 or 11.
Could do. I like 11. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great evening, and we'll catch you again next week.
Bye.
Thanks, bye-bye.